Alright, what's going on, everybody? Drew Sanford here. We have got the crew. We lost Ben yesterday, and then today we got Cody Huff. So I think we're calling up.
Yes, we're calling up a little bit.
I don't know him, so I can't vouch for them.
Ben's awesome.
Do not hold it
Ben's
against me.
awesome. No, that's funny. No, Cody, thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We rescued him from the Expo. I
Yes.
feel like,
Not a bad
or
deal.
you rescued us from the Expo.
No.
You can pick. You can pick. So we were trying to get back in time to have sunlight to go do it up on the loft again, but it's a little chillier.
Yes.
I think it's a little chillier than expected today, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think
It-
that was warm as they were thinking.
And it really wasn't bright. I never saw it bright.
And then the northeast wind today.
Yep.
So, yes. It was a little
Yep.
cooler than I
It
thaught.
didn't hurt the fish biting.
No, they caught some fish.
My prediction yesterday was 61 pounds to win. So is it on target for that? It could be, but I think I'm wrong.
Yeah, because there's 120-pound bag and then three 18-pound bags.
Yep.
3 or 4? Was it 4? Was it
Or
somebody? I think 4. Somebody
Yeah.
slipped in it.
Yeah.
There's a number of stuff,
And then there's some
top-
17s and
There's a lot of
16s.
guys that could win this deal.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
still
A lot of
open.
them
Yes.
right now.
I think all in all, and I don't know that we really heard the final, like how they caught them, the leaders. Who's leading it right now? Brian New
At the time,
when we left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yep.
It still is.
you just check.
Yep. Just checked.
Just good.
Just checked.
Yes.
I go back to, I really think it's going to be a largemouth deal. I think you're going to get a bonus spot probably rolled into it, but Zaldane. Did you see his fish? Like his, he lost a 5 and a 4 today, and he weighed in, was it 16 and change?
16
Yeah.
change. Yeah. So he had a bit of contention. He had the bites.
Yep. Lost one at the side of the boat for sure, and then another one was a swim bait fish. So
Well, they rolled up the bait and he fought it pretty good ways for it to come off on him on the play this morning.
Yep.
But
A guy like that's going to be dangerous fishing for big ones.
yes.
Yep. He called it too. He said as soon as this sun gets to right here, and he started rolling that big line through swim bait around. I mean, it wasn't 5 docks in, boom, had one. So I mean, it was pretty cool, in my opinion. So.
But it's just amazing too. This morning we was at the weigh-in at 20 till 6 there, and it was absolutely packed. They were shutting down. They said like over 3,000 people on a Friday morning. They're
It was
cheering
awesome.
on. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, that is absolutely unreal. They parked 2.5 miles up the road and was walking in to see her. And it is, and I mean, but to basically hear someone say, "Boat number 1, let's go."
Yeah. Well, but in like a Dave Mercer way.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, no, but that's just, but wow. I mean, there's only one bass, and it's definitely for sure. I mean, that they proved it again today. I mean,
Cody, have you fished here?
I fished here in an open last fall, but it's everywhere out here in this eastern part of the United States. People just love it.
Yep.
And there's so many lakes. People love to bass fish, and I mean, it's mind blowing, really, because
That boat ramp.
I was
is
going to say
probably-
they have to love it because
Dude, that boat ramp is
facility-
probably the coolest facility that I've seen. I mean, I've been all over the southeast, Florida, the big, where they normally go, but I've never been out this way. And wow, it's cool. It's very
You go right around Hartwell for a day, and you'll figure out how much these guys like to fish because no matter where you pull up, there's cane piles. They put out the cane, they put out the brush, they work for them here.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. What would you be doing? Or what do you think's going down from what you've heard?
Man, these fish want to spawn so bad they can't stand it. The water's warm. They're moving up. I'm sure I didn't watch live today, but I'm sure there's a bunch of guys catching them off them shallow docks. And good black floats. These largemouth out here, they love it. And like you said, it'll probably take majority largemouth to win. So these guys that are catching these 16, 17, 18, 20-pound bags, they're not probably messing around with those spots a lot.
No.
They're finding a way to get those big bites and probably just chasing those shallow fish instead of messing around.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a bunch of guys were out catching spots out of drains and stuff this morning and then immediately going to the bank. I'd say a lot of these guys that are swinging aren't even.
They didn't even go there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I heard that by 2 or 3 of them. They said I didn't mess around and then my first bite, but 12-inch spots wasn't going to do me any good. So besides
Two
that,
things
calm
that I
down.
took away from like watching Bass Live this morning. One, I thought somebody would. I relate it to table rock, right? You know what I mean? And you go offshore fishing, and I know when I fish against Cody Huff, he goes out there and busts like 28 pounds in like 13 seconds. He's kind of like Mahomes.
Not quite. I wish it was that easy.
But, you know, like for real though, like I felt like that you would see somebody catch a 15, 16 pound bag really quick. And dude, it took a while to get over 10 pounds. Like when I saw that, I was going, uh-oh, my guess is wrong.
We thought it was weird. So as soon as Bass Live came on live, we were driving back. Instantly, everybody in the field had fish?
Yeah.
Like,
bang.
I mean, boom, just boom. But then, then you started but then it stalled. The weights were like, man, boom, 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 boom. And then the weights just, and it was, I don't know where Hackney's at right now. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
But even
Do you want to take a stab?
Yeah.
Third, 18-9.
Yeah. So, well, brings you to the point. You're talking about the guys that didn't do it. Hackney was at one point during live this minute, he had 3 fish. And he goes, and the same as a limit of spots. He goes, now I can calm down and fish how I want to fish. And I don't even need to worry about a limit right now.
Yep. That was
18 pounds largemouth, like you're talking.
Yep. That was my point too. Was like I was looking at the guys, like all these people had limits, and they were 6, 7, 8, 9 pounds, and it's like then I was scrolling through looking who had 1 for 4, 2 for 5, you know what I mean, stuff like that, and you know Hackney was definitely one of them for sure.
That guy we completely forgot about last night.
We forgot about Greg Hackney. We were talking about good shallow water fishermen.
Power
We never
guys.
even mentioned them, and we watched him put his boat in the water. We all kind of like looked at each other like, that one. We forgot that one.
Yeah. The guy with the scary mindset
Yeah.
will take your money now.
Exactly.
Yeah, you could pay Bass or you could just write the check to me. It doesn't really matter to me.
And I would think it's supposed to be warmer tomorrow, warmer again Sunday.
Dude, it's coming. What I said, the largemouth bite is coming the whole week as it goes on.
Yeah.
And today, when we walked outside, we went to get breakfast, or actually we went to the blast off. It was way colder than it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And when I felt that, and then we didn't see the weights climb, like I was like, yeah, it's going to probably stall today. But you know, the weather is still looking spot on for that type of game. And I just don't know how you fish the Classic and don't do that. So.
This you can see the weights go up and up and up every single day. I mean, that's what's cool about springtime. And, you know, just having 54 boats or something like that out here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing on a big pond like this.
No, it's swallowing my
Oh,
mind,
absolutely.
yeah.
You know what's cool? Like everybody was kind of squalling how it was tough. 18th place is 16 pounds 1 ounce.
Yeah.
Like it ain't that tough.
Sandbaggers.
Yeah, it ain't that tough.
Yeah.
I know some of the guys were talking that they felt okay at 12 pounds. They didn't lose it, but you know, 12 range. Shane Powell's 12-14 at 38th, and then 12 evens. Hank Cherry at 41.
Yeah.
So
It's a tough hill.
that's a big hill. That's a big hill with all those 16 pound. But I thought there was going to be a lot of 16 pound. You know what I mean? You go to Table Rock this time of year, it's like 13 to 16 pounds, and you will catch a bunch of spots that range. I thought this lake was really going to be chock full of those 3 3/4.
They're just different fish. You know, they're not, you know, these spots are like more so the Coosa River spots, and we've got those dang Kentuckys that are this long and that fat, and these spots are this long. They look like pencils, you know. They're crazy. I mean, they're a fish that I've never really figured out. I don't know much about them, but it's cool because they always bite. You might not have the biggest bag just catching these spots, but
You'll get 12 pounds.
they bite.
Yeah. Yep, that's cool. That's very cool. What do you think? I mean, how is this going to play out in your mind?
Shallow largemouth guys are going to dominate it. That's what's going to shine. I mean, I don't think there's any other option. You know, I don't think even, you know, Brian New leading this tournament today, I don't think he could go survive on spots and win. It's not going to be a tournament of survival. I think it's going to be a tournament of throwing haymakers.
Whoever throws the last punch gets
right.
it. Yeah. So we got Brian New, Kyle Welcher, Greg Hackney, Steve Kennedy, Brock Mosley, Patrick Walters, Gerald Swindle, Stetson Blaylock, and then Jason Christie, Mark Frazier. Yeah, it's a pretty hammerfest.
Hammerfest. You can't even pick one. You know what I
Who
mean?
are you leaning when you hear it? Who are you leaning towards?
Yeah, because even all of them, any of them's got a chance at it, and they can turn around. They've been in this position before. I mean, other tournaments, they've got the experience.
I think the guys that went to MLF and they came back, they got a chip on their shoulder to, you know, they've all got a bone to pick. I feel like they want the dub.
I'd love nothing more than CLG, man, just crack their butts the rest of this tournament.
Yep.
Just to see it happen.
He's in 7th, 17-6.
We're talking about the two that are, I mean, the ones that are just staring right now, not top 10, but Lee Livesey in 11th, Chris Zaldain in 12th. You know, John Cox, 15th. I mean, those guys can.
Yeah.
You want to talk about haymakers?
Yep.
There's a bunch of them out there
Yeah.
just praying that they don't come to the bank, so John Cox don't go down.
He pulled up this morning, caught a limit. What did he say? He caught like 20 keepers and 30 casts or something like that.
On this Lawrence, X135 graph or whatever that little it's got in front.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
right.
it was a rod, mud, just, mud,
Yeah.
rock
Yeah.
Oh,
cast.
there it is. Aim that way.
It's too deep.
Yeah. What do you think of fishing against guys like that?
Man, it's cool. You don't really, I've looked up to him my whole life, and you don't ever think you're going to get the chance to. So whenever you get out there and it's kind of cool. You run around and you see one of them. That's freaking John Cox. I was like, wait a minute.
Okay,
I gotta beat him. I don't want to be cool to see him. I gotta beat that guy.
Yeah.
So it's cool to be around him. I mean, everybody that fishes bass that I've met so far, awesome people, great guys. We all love to do the same thing. That's what's so cool about all this is just everybody loves the same thing, and it's pretty dang easy to get along with everybody doing it.
Yep.
Good.
That's cool. What a lot of the bigger names, the ones in the past went to MLF, whether they're coming or not coming back or whatever that is. To me, it's allowed a new wave of guys like you guys to come up and really shine.
It's not like a baseball strike in minor league players replacement deal. Like
No.
sticks.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
I put my money
Absolute sticks.
I put my money on
Like
these
there was
guys.
a wave of absolute just straight up talent, like you included, that just
Well,
right
how old
there.
How old are you now? Cody?
24.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24.
How many of the guys in the elites college fish now? I mean, it's
Man,
a
lot of
number.
them.
It's
Yeah,
a
lot
number
of them.
now.
Hey, KJ Queen, he went to school there at Bethel with me, and he's doing it for a living now. College fishing's, it's a crazy deal. It's exploding. You get Cole Floyd fishing the Bass Pro Tour now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of guys.
Brandon Carr, I think, was the first.
Yeah, Brandon
right?
Carr, Drew Cook, Patrick Walters, Jake Whitaker.
Do you know Drew Cook very well?
I don't. I just know him for his talking
Dude,
here and there and around.
he was probably my takeaway from yesterday. Like we interviewed him second,
Yeah.
and he was awesome.
Yeah.
He's like a
super
dude,
good.
could drink a bit, just a cool, awesome guy. He talked really well, and I don't know a lot of his backstory or anything. I know he's from Florida, and you know what I mean. He was kind of rough around the edges his first year, just from you know what I mean. Like you could tell he's a rookie, right?
Right.
And but man, he was good. He talked well. He was nice. He wanted to engage. It's
So,
fun being around those guys.
Tomorrow?
What?
Drew Cook? Is that what we're
Oh yeah, we're calling him out right now. How did he do? We can get a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. What who are you running around with? Are you traveling with anybody? What's your elites looking
Right
like?
now, I haven't been traveling with anybody. My wife, she's got a good enough, she waitresses, so she's been able to come with me to the first two events. But, I still do a lot of talking, kind of my little group so far. I've been talking like KJ and Jacob Fouts and Joseph Webster. We've just kind of been bouncing things off each other. But really, me and Webster have kind of been, we actually worked together and, kind of treated like a business. It's kind of a cool deal.
Yeah. Cool.
Good.
Cool.
Talk about a fun guy. That's who you need on here, Webster. Joseph is a good son of a gun, man.
Is it his rookie season this
Yeah,
year?
he's a rookie too.
Yeah, I don't know much about him.
Yep, he's a really good dude. He fished Major League Fishing for a long time.
Okay.
Finally worked his way over here this year.
Good.
Yep. Where's he from?
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
He's a country boy, I venture to guess.
Few of them in this sport.
There's a couple.
Love it.
Few rednecks in it. Yes, there is.
Yep. Well, what else? We're kind of boring today. I feel like we've been at the Expo all day, and I think it's just like.
It just drains you. That many people. I don't know how many people. At 11 o'clock when we got there, it was just before 11, and we walked in with the passes stuff, and then they opened the gates. And I didn't even think that it's just your BSS members can come in for
Your
the first
lifetime
hour.
members have first.
And then at noon, oh my God, it was like the flood
floodgates.
just came, and it was already completely packed. And it never let up until, the weigh-in started this afternoon, and the crowd let up.
There
And
was
tomorrow
people
was Saturday.
running to
Yes.
places looking for deals.
Yes.
Literally running.
It was unbelievable.
There's nothing these people want more than something free.
Race.
just to get.
Spro was giving swim baits out, and there were so many people excited with
Yeah.
those big giant
Yes.
swim
It's
baits.
the
Like,
funniest
oh
thing
my
ever. Everybody's
gosh.
got buckets and they're just trying to get it before it runs
And,
out.
well, yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's a koozie.
No.
No, it don't make a
Buff,
difference. Keychain.
Yeah.
Makes no difference.
I love it because you see the guys, they've got 2 or 3 buckets in one hand.
Yeah.
It's like you think it's good. Like, oh, I got a free $5 Lowe's bucket. It's
Yeah.
got fishing on it.
Yes.
About 10 minutes in, you got to be going, maybe this is a bad idea.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
fingers are cut and bleeding.
Yeah.
No, but you know what you love about that? So last year at Fort Worth, we saw that too.
Yep.
You know, that was the first one I ever attended. And this year, I think that cool thing, you know, it's a Friday, right? You say school day. But the amount that, you know, we have the rednecks and we have those guys that like to go out and drink beer with and do everything like that. But then to go see, you got that little kid that's walking in that
Yeah.
expo for the first time. His eyes are about that big, man. He's got that bucket, he's got that koozie and that buff. That's cool, man. Like
Yeah.
that is what it's about, you know. And that's what Bass has done a really good job with this expo in the sport, you know, being family friendly. But man, that expo, saw it last year firsthand. You know, see it again this year. It's such a cool deal when stuff like that happens. You see that.
Well, that's what I bet we've seen people. How old did you say the one lady was? 83, John? 84? Yeah. At the event center, an 84-year-old woman there at the weigh-in, just coming in, her and her husband to watch the weigh-in. I mean, you know, fishing. Then you see them like they's packing, you know, their kids or babies in.
John, what they know about?
Boatworks.
They knew about Boatworks. They live here. They knew about us.
I believe it, man. There's a lot of people who do. You guys are making a bigger impact than you think.
There's no way. We're a bunch of dummies.
Well, and I tell you what, that woman was a sweetheart because she was even worried about John not eating enough and being kind of skinny. She's worried she's gonna make him dinner. So,
Is that why you said you're dropping him off?
yeah,
that's right.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
where he's going.
He's got a new lady friend. All right, so 6 a.m. Sorry, my wife's texting me. 6 a.m., 2 mile an hour out of the northeast. 9 a.m., 3 miles an hour to the northeast. 11 a.m., 3 miles an hour to the southeast. And then it rolls to the south the rest of the day. 48 for a low, 61, 63 in the afternoon, and the sun pops out at 1 o'clock. I don't know who's going to be in the later flight, but they're going to whack them from 1 o'clock to 3, I'd assume.
That's right.
It ought to be good. There was a bunch of people hiding big old swim baits and topwater baits.
Really?
One guy had 3 different size buzz baits.
Yes,
And
that's
like-
what's right. 'Cause we was doing a lot of the interviews, just getting some stuff for the tackle. And I said, "Is there a bait you want to talk about?" I go, "You know, whatever." And he goes, "Well, but," and he pulled out. I mean, and they was on. He had a 1/4 ounce medium, and then a big old choker buzz bait on, which surprised me. You know, I mean, that was one of the first rods he took out. So
So these fish, like this tournament could have been cold and winter deep. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
would have checked the boxes of what it should be.
Yeah.
So do you feel like, but it's not, it's been a mild winter and it's getting hot like this. Like I've always thought, you're a huge deer hunter and I am not, but I've been around it enough. I'm cursed with deer hunting just for the record, but I feel like deer move more so on like timing and moon phase and things like that. And I've always kind of related that with bass fishing. But do you think these fish, I mean, I feel like they're starting to spawn, like you said this, you know, they can't even see straight, they want to spawn so bad. I feel like it's early.
Yeah.
Does it matter? Is it just weather and temperature? Does you know, how do you think about that?
I mean, I definitely think that, you know, all of the scientific kind of stuff has a lot to do with it, you know, like just different stuff. It's just how far along the fish are and how warm it's been lately in the moon and stuff like that. But there's something about it when you get a little cold snap, you know, and then all of a sudden you're seeing what we're seeing now, you know, several days warm nights, that it doesn't matter what the moon's like or what so-and-so's like. Even if they're not spawning, you know, they're going to get up there and cruise. You know, they're going to get up there where these guys can catch them, you know. And I feel like on a lake like this, it's so controlled by herring, you have to have that to catch those largemouth, or else
Yeah.
they're going to be out in the abyss rowing
Yep.
because you can't catch them hardly.
It's a perfect storm, I think,
It
for this
is.
event to do exactly what they're doing.
Perfect. They're
Yep.
coming to the bank more and more every day. These guys, they probably went out of one area fishing shallow, and that doesn't happen, you know.
Yeah.
But there's probably so many fish coming that
The bass, the largemouth, I mean, do they stick around areas you feel like on herring lakes, or do they roam just as much as a spot or whatever?
I think they live right out there in the middle of them. I think they live with us just like a striper. You know?
Where food is.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I've been out here in the fall a few times, and every now and again, you'll just see these fish come up school and like, oh, those are stripers, and you'll throw a spook in there and catch a freaking largemouth that long. And it's like, what is he doing? Probably he's supposed to be laying under a log.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They don't care.
They don't act like that. I mean, they
Yeah.
live right with the stripers, and honestly, I feel like the only thing that would ever bring them in is
Spawn.
bass spawn, shad spawn. You know, something's got to be going on the bank, or they're never coming.
And that's why I think they say out there suspended, like suspend up. But like you said, just this morning we walked out of here. What the first thing we do? Let's get over here and get in the sun. We walked around. I mean, yeah, we didn't want to sit over here in the shade. I mean, you know, we wanted over here in the sun.
Yep. It's a neat one. Do you think Table Rock and like our lakes back home? I mean, they do the same thing. Do you think this lake and Table Rock back home is that much different right now? I mean, do you think there's bass right now? Thinking about that at Missouri?
I mean, I'm sure there are. Like I said, I went to Lake the Ozarks last week, and I didn't do that good, but the ones that I did catch had their backs out of the water.
I think daylight length
That's
has
a
a lot
big
to
deal.
do with
Yeah.
it.
Big deal. Long
Lot to do with
days, no matter what the water temperature is, they know.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're smarter than us most of the time. To be honest with you.
Well, that's what shoots and fishing. That thing's got a brain that big.
Yeah.
You know, they want to go shallow, they're gonna go shallow. We're sitting there kind of like turkey hunting. Like those things are so smart. No,
And they
they just know how to survive.
Yeah. So
We got to figure that out.
Just like the
It's tough.
A-rig a few years ago. I mean, I really thought when that thing come out, I thought, okay, this is going to be this, and this, postpone. I could, wait till it gets to postpone it.
Yeah.
And it gets to a certain water temperature, boom, they just quit. But now that bait is nothing. And don't get me wrong, it'll still catch fish, but it's nothing like it was when it come out. They get accustomed to it. Just
Well,
like
it was-
fishing, and they get accustomed.
And we talked about it when it did come out and it was popular.
Yeah.
Because you have that Demiki rig now, drop shot, that's super natural, super finessey. And A-rig comes out and it's got 5 wires hanging out of it, big old swivels, bait, whole things this long. I mean, and they ate it. They absolutely ate it. And it's
Yeah.
like sometimes I think we give them too much credit.
Yes.
For
It's very, very easy to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, but at the
It's
same
easy.
time, like you're talking, spinning rod, throwing the same type of bait versus a bait casting rod when it's a better action for you.
Yep.
When to put Hibdons, Lake the Ozarks, when to put blue tips on a crawl on jig bite versus red. Just that silly little stuff, but pays dividends at the same time. So no one win. I don't know how to do it. I don't. I'll admit it, but I know 100 out. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
Those little tweaks, 100%.
There's 2 people at this table that know when that is. It's R.C. Cola.
No, that he probably taught him.
No.
He probably did.
Yeah.
He taught Cody Huff too, and he was a line scope.
Yeah, well, he was fishing the '67 Redman
Yes.
back then. Those days.
67.
Yeah.
1967.
Where are those shades anyway?
Do what?
Where are those shades?
Oh, I got
anyway?
We brought 3. We were afraid he's gonna get stopped in the airport.
we check out the
with these
airport. I
big
said,
sunglasses.
wait till they x-ray that bag and they just
Oh, daggone. That's funny. Where are you off to next?
We're going Santee Cooper. in
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a slugfest, but
That's right.
it's also a maze. Just a dangerous maze to get around.
Do you like your lower unit?
I'm kind of fond of it.
That's good because you ain't gonna have it.
I kind of like to love my boat.
You like it all. Yes.
So I kind of like to keep it. So
Have you fished St. before?
I've never been there. So
Yeah.
I think the lower lake's good to run around on, and you can
Just
pretty
close
well
your
get
eyes.
around on there. But they say when you get up, to a section of the lake that's usually pretty good, it's a little hairy. So it's going to be interesting, but it's full of giants, so it'll be fun. I've never been there, but
I remember when I was in college, one of the kids we fished against would talk about it, and
Yeah.
he won a BFL or something like that, and he had 32 pounds.
yeah,
And it's wow, he wasn't
no.
nuts.
That lake has really turned on the last 10 years or so. I mean,
It's a cool one.
when I was younger, I'd heard of Santee Cooper, and then it was I don't know, maybe Graham is going through that too, where it's just kind of has down
Recycles.
play. Yeah, recycles, and lakes go up and down.
But it's got great grass, right?
It was known for catfish when I was younger, and then all of a sudden, the last 10 years, it's boom, big weights.
I know it used to, but I from what I've heard, I don't really think they do anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I could be wrong. They might have a ton of it, but I've heard a few different things. And
Who won it last? Was it Polnick that won it?
yeah, they were flipping Hysons those in the fall. Remember? Cause
That's right. It was
Yeah.
COVID hit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were flipping matted stuff.
Yep. That was another one that it's terrible. It's gonna suck, and then they mashed on them.
What was? Yeah, that was that. Whatever that giant he pulled out on that drop shot, just randomly.
Yeah,
just
on the brush
yeah,
pile.
it was brush
Yeah.
pile.
7 or 8 pounds.
Yeah, just sitting there. Just it's not a bass.
Yeah.
You know, one of those fish.
That probably makes you smile if I had to guess.
What?
7, 8 pounders out of brush piles.
I'm into it. Yeah, it sounds wonderful. I think all of them want to come. Be just fine.
Yep. You've won a number of good tournaments now. What's your favorite? Which one sticks out the most to you?
Man, I don't know. I really had a lot of fun winning on Table Rock in that Toyota deal, but the first one was kind of special. You know, when I won at Toyota, or I won down at Toledo Bend, the first actual Toyota series. That was a lot of fun. But it's hard to compare that one and the one I got to go to the Classic on. You know, it's all they're all wonderful. They all come when you're least expecting them. You know,
Yep.
that's a cool thing about it.
Well, I was telling Cody to come in here. He made a bunch of people proud. He represents himself well. And it's amazing because, and I can't remember, it was on a high school tournament. It was like a $150, $200 check, and I can't remember that he won and stuff. And I remember talking to him, and I thought that was cool. Great kid, talking to him. I talked to Jim Love and some other people, so he's a really good kid. And never did drink. I mean,
Right.
yeah, you know, I thought the kid is absolutely ate up with it. That's it, and here he is, you know, on a lead angler, one of the best in the world. It's pretty cool.
The crazy thing is, like, I think, you know, you helped whenever they had the first one, the
Yeah.
first tournament, the
Yeah.
first high school tournament in Missouri, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if it wasn't for that tournament that you guys got going, like,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be here because we won that one the first
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
And
yeah.
else we wouldn't, you know, I may not have fell in love with it like I did.
Like I said,
Did you play like other sports or something in high school?
Yeah,
And
I
then just
played-
have
Yeah, I played
bass fishing
everything. And
took it.
it's kind of a funny story. So, like, our athletic director was a baseball coach.
Yep.
And
In Ava,
Yeah, in
the
Ava.
metropolis of Ava.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
population like what, 19?
well, we have one stoplight and we have one full.
But oh,
$5 generals.
Yeah.
it's got an MS
$1
program.
general.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it doesn't have an MS program. It's there. But it's just, you know, I mean, it's just crazy. What the hell was I talking about?
Your first tournament, funny story.
Yeah, the first one that we won down there.
Yeah,
at
one
Table
down
Rock.
Table Rock, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, so the athletic director,
Yeah.
I ended up talking him into it. I said, man, what do I have to do to get to go fish this tournament? He said, man, I don't really want to get into all that, you know. More paperwork, and he's like, it's during baseball season, you know, we don't really have time for that. I said, come on, let me go. He said, all right, dude, you get to go. You can go this one. If it works out, we'll keep it going. If not, we'll call it. He said, I'll make a deal with you. That'll be fine, yeah. And then
That dude didn't realize he was.
Yeah, they still got one. So.
It's a good thing you won that tournament.
It is.
Because you might not be fishing.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
That's crazy.
It was a cool door to just kind of, you know, get things going.
Yeah.
Besides,
What's your relationship with like Rick?
you know, Clem's one of my best friends, really.
Yeah.
I talked to him today. He called me when I was sitting in the booth earlier. He's as good as they come. I mean, and it's kind of cool because everywhere we go, you know, we're all on no info rules and stuff like that, unless it's with other competitors. And you know, whenever you go anywhere with Rick, when we got to St. John's River, I've never been there. We get there the day before. He said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm just rigging some tackle." He said, "Well, I'll be there to pick you up." He said, "I'm gonna take you around and show you all the ramps, drive around the whole
That's
lake,
cool.
and show
That is
you-
cool.
You know, show you the areas that have been productive and areas that haven't. And, you know, it's just special, man. From a guy like him, that's
Oh,
just
my
a
God,
walking
yeah,
encyclopedia.
man. Yes.
He does not forget anything.
Yep.
You know, he remembers when they were here 30 years ago and exactly how they were caught. And it's just special, man. I mean, you can't really even explain it. It's pretty dang cool.
When you started fishing and then traveling and stuff like that, like, cause he helped you guys with the Ava team, right? Like, I mean, he was.
So after the Ava team was started and stuff, I met Rick when I was in high school, and honestly, not a lot of people know it, but he's the one that really pushed me to take the next. He was fishing some Toyota Series stuff, you know, and you know, it was one of those deals. He said, "Hey, man," he said, "I believe in you. I'm going to help you do it." He said, "I want you to travel with me, you know." And
It's cool.
he said, I believe in you, and you're going to do this. He said, "I don't care if you want to or not. You're going to do it." And,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you
Okay.
turning that down?
no,
Yeah.
I just, you know, I told him, you know, I couldn't appreciate that anymore. You know, that's
Yeah.
just as cool as it gets. And it all worked out. Heck, I almost won the first one down there that I ever fished at Table Rock, and caught 20 pounds the first day, and then everything changed.
I like how you said that. Everything changed.
Yeah,
Been there.
normal Table Rock stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's cool. That's
Well,
cool.
you talk about, I mean, kind of talk about rolling up on John Cox, man. It's kind of cool, but
Yeah.
you legit, Rick Clunn's still doing it.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, I'd give
you're still
anything-
fishing against like the man that walking encyclopedia, best there ever was.
You hear the old saying is, you would love to. I would just love to know what he's forgotten. And don't even. I mean, I would love to just know that knowledge. I mean, you know, the guy is amazing, and I mean, he's still. Yes.
You talk about another one that can figure out what size
Yes.
rings on a crawl that you need to color orange
Yes.
off the side of your crankbait.
I loved
When
his
it's a full
stories.
moon.
I love his stories that he kind of got into recently, just about like he knew, you know, he was always the consistent guy, and like trying to relearn catching big fish. And we had a conversation. We were fishing a Toyota at Lake of the Ozarks a couple years ago, and it was a lightning storm, and they weren't going to call it. Well, we were stuck under at Robbins Resort.
Yeah.
He was there. We ended up just BSing. I mean, blast off was going on,
Right.
and we weren't going out in it. He literally looked at us. He goes, "I'm not going to tell you what to do, but don't go out there."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So, then he started talking about that type of stuff, and it was cool to hear him. He's such a academic, steward of the outdoors. You know what I mean? He's always learning, and he's always trying to figure out ways to adapt.
There's a lot of guys that just talk, and nobody really listens. But when that man opens his mouth, you better have your ears open and your mouth shut, because he's going to teach you something. He doesn't say anything that's not, not the truth.
Yeah.
No.
I remember, myself being younger and stuff like that, and you talk about spinnerbait blades and everything like that, and then you have Rick Clun that took. I mean, I might as well have a PhD. I know he doesn't, but like that first one that like when research came out like lateral lines, and he's just jumping into like, okay, well, how does this square bill vibrate compared to this one?
No.
What does this blade do that this other blade doesn't do? And I think he was one of the first ones that really took it from an analytical standpoint and say, how can I apply this to what a bass naturally senses and feels?
It's
Before-
interesting to me, those groups of guys that are like
Yeah.
that. The analytical. Are you analytical? Do you think like that?
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's just interesting. Obviously, it works for both sides,
It
right?
does. It works either way. Like guys like him, I mean, it works really well for him. If I try to do that, it's really easy for me to overthink that stuff. I'm one of those guys that I'll probably have the same 20 rods out that I got out. Like when I start practice with these 20, I'll probably still have them out with the same stuff on them at the end of practice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be coloring crawls and this and that to get a bite. If I find them, they're going to be doing what I want them to do, or they're going to, I'm going to spend the whole time looking for something particular instead of, just really, which it doesn't always work, but when it does,
It's going to work.
you're going to, you have a chance to win. One of those kind of deals, kind of, just big fish pie.
Well, how many of the guys said today, and I mean, I couldn't imagine. I mean, I've been to 1,000 tournaments, don't know how many weigh-ins, all that. And this morning I had butterflies there at the weigh-in, just walking around. If you could just feel the excitement.
man.
Takeoff deal?
Do what?
You said talking about takeoff?
Yeah, the takeoff this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, unreal. But then to sit there and they was at least 6 guys there at the weigh-in, said going down, and the key there was, man, finally I just had to slow down. And a lot of that is because a lot of the times you beat yourself. It ain't the fish that beats you. A lot of times it's, and then having that. And like I said, if you are, I throw like 2 different colors of jigs. I love throwing a beaver, and the kids that fish with me, all that, the other guys, it's one color. I throw a hematoma and there's 5 pin. I don't care if it's, but that's me thinking that way. That ain't what, but.
My favorite, kind of like when I think of the blast off today, like Matt Airy had this. Did you see Matt with his family?
Yeah.
So like his boat and everything was down there, and then there's the crowd that's like trying to get down there.
Yeah.
And Matt was back there, and he was hugging his wife, and he had probably parents and his parents and the kids' grandkids, and
At the same time, there's an American flag hanging from that fire engine.
Yeah.
It's touched from the ceiling to the floor.
Well, Scott Martin,
You know,
how many tournaments
just-
do you think Scott Martin's fished?
like 4. 5.
Yeah, for at least 4 or 5, maybe 6. And he actually, this morning when they got him, I mean, how many times, I mean, the FLW's won the FLW championship. I don't know how many FLW events and stuff coming on. And he actually got halfway choked up this morning when they're sitting there interviewing him at that, just the excitement in the air, you know. I mean, he's at a classic. I mean, you know, and that just says something. I mean, it is. It's pretty
It's a big
wild.
deal.
It is.
Man, yeah, it hit me. You know, I went to that one last year, but I didn't do anything on the water.
Yeah.
But this morning to be a takeoff, you know, and just sitting there and was almost standing underneath that flag, and they stopped for the national anthem. And you sit there and that kind of thing. Even when I was a little kid, you're like, man, you finally had your first Bassmaster Classic takeoff, man. It was cool.
What's the Mega Bass kid's
cool.
name?
Matty Wong.
Matty Wong. That kid looked like he was about to croak before blast off. He came up and talked with Mercer, and I don't know that he can get any words out of his mouth. I mean, I'm not that nervous. I'm okay.
I told you when we walked in, they were still
oh,
dumping them off.
pass it.
They were still dumping them off the trucks, and I told you, I go, if I was fishing this thing, I'd be spun out before I even got in the water.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be done.
Yeah. I'd have 25 rods thrown at one time.
What was going through your mind? I mean, what did you think?
Man, it's just the coolest thing ever. It's everything you guys are explaining, you know. I mean, you just can't even, you can't put it into words, but I mean, you know, you take off and then you get out there and you're just fishing and you're fine. But then you come back in and you pull into this arena and you're in a line backstage in this big dark alley, and then they pull back those curtains and it's just like, holy cow, you know, there's thousands of people there to see you, music blaring, like it's just
cool.
Yeah, it's one of those deals that, you know, you always hope is not once in a lifetime. You know,
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be back.
No,
I don't think anybody's gotten down there.
It's not yet if it's wind.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a lot of people talk. They said, do you think the kid's just lucky? The kid's just lucky. And I remember Rick Klun, someone had asked him that around him, and he said, no, he's got it. And I'll never forget him saying that. So that was it. That's been a few years ago. That's been 3 or 4 years ago.
I still think he's lucky.
Yeah.
Oh
no!
Just dumb luck consistently and all across the country and everybody who water.
If R.C.
Just
Cola
dumb
would
luck.
if R.C. Cola would tell him how to catch him on the daggum garments.
That's what it is
Yeah.
on the glasses. That's what it is.
I tell you what,
He
man,
probably never heard of hematoba until.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
yeah.
know it,
Oh,
so.
yeah. I heard it last week for the first time.
Yeah. First time.
I'll tell you one thing that, you know, last year fishing the opens and stuff, I was around, you know, some of the guys that fish leads, like, you know, Brandon Polnick fished a lot of them. You know, I've got to know him over the last couple of years. And I'll tell you something that stuck in my brain that I will never get rid of. Was we came back in one day, and he said, how'd you do? I said, oh man, I just kind of got lucky. You know, I said, I had a good back, but I kind of got lucky. He just looked at me, and I mean, immediately said, no, you didn't. I said, what do you mean? I said, I got lucky. He said, luck is the moment that preparation preparation and opportunity meet. And he said, it's not. He said it's nothing to do with just getting lucky. It's you being there at the right time, in the right place for a reason, doing the right thing, and it just happens. Mm-hmm. It's pretty dang cool. It's something I always think about. You know, that didn't just happen just because. It makes you rethink.
There was decisions made. There's time on the
Yeah.
water. There's history and
Yeah.
confidence that led you to that point.
Yeah.
I get it.
To me, success is a formula. It doesn't matter if it's business or bass fishing or underwater basket weaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you put in the work and you do the right stuff, and you know, is there some fortunate things that happen?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like some people have that, right? You know what I mean? Like some people have that extra fortune that goes with them, but a lot of them, like you look at a Paul, like you look at you. How many days a year do you spend on the water?
A lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how many.
You know, and you can't, you know, a person can't say, oh, you know, Cody's blah, 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 or Brandon's blah. No, they bust their butt. And the days that you go, man, it's 43 degrees and raining today. Well, guess where Cody was yesterday? He was crappie fishing. Guess where he was? You know what I mean? And it all adds up. But if you're not willing to do it, you're just not going to make it. And I know, like, when I college fished, I took it for granted a lot. You know what I mean? I wish I could go back to myself at a younger age and say, go do more. Like, I did more than most of the people on my team, but go do more. You know what I mean? Like, always go do more. And I think that's always, like, you know, I think that's something that no matter what it is, even if you're older looking back or on, you know, wanting to fish BFLs, go do more. Go out practice everybody. You know, it's going to put yourself that much closer to what your goal is. So
And there's a lot of times where, like for me, like I don't know how it goes for a lot of people, but there's been a lot of times for me where it's been a big God thing. I mean, it's been one of those deals where you just feel it and you know it's meant to be and you just can't stop it.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
like,
cool.
Crazy stuff that just the tournament that I won to get to the Classic. It was kind of a crazy story. I don't know, what some people believe in or something like that. But I believe in God. I do, and I had this tournament at Watts Bar, and my parents came out there for that tournament. That's the only tournament I've ever not been able to sleep the night before. I just couldn't sleep, just nervous wreck. And I didn't know this at the time, but I was fishing. This is kind of a recap of looking back. My mom says when she's coming down, she said, I prayed that you'd be like a train, and they just couldn't stop you. And she was telling me this that night after I won the first round, whatever, come back in, we're sitting at dinner. And she's telling me all this and that she couldn't be stopped. And she said she got to town and got stopped by a train at the railroad tracks after she'd been driving all night. She's like, that's weird. And she told this whole story, and then at the end of it, I go, you want to know what's real weird? And so I was sitting on my first spot wrecking them this morning, and I heard this sound, and it was just a big roar. And I was like, what is that? And I asked my marshal, he said, son, that's a train. And it was one of those deals, and every morning I'd hear that train and it'd just go down. You know what I mean? There's some things that you just can't stop. It's just kind of meant to be, and it's one of those things
That's cool.
It's pretty dang cool. Something
pretty
you can't help but share.
No,
Yep.
exactly. And it is the stories like that. And it's a lot of us sitting here. I know he blessed me in many ways. So I got a thing on my mind. I said, every day it says up here, dear Lord, I'm going to make several choices today, but it's you've got my hand, so it doesn't make a difference which way I go, and it's on every jersey I got. So, amen. I mean, and that's the truth in a lot of ways. So.
It's cool.
It's pretty dang cool. It is. There's lots of cool special stories like that.
That is,
from a lot of guys out there.
Yeah, exactly. You don't ever know. But, and how many times have you made just a last minute decision where you just threw everything away and then you sit there, this ain't working. These 20 rods you got, I've been using these 10 over here. Okay, and then let's go with these 10 now, and we're going to run.
You get mad, you put the rods up that you don't want to see anymore.
I tell you, a guy that's out here, he's fishing this Classic. Nick LeBrun. You guys know him. I'm telling you, you've never seen a guy share the word any better than this man in your whole life. If you ever meet him, he'll just shine. He'll come right up to you and won't know you. Somebody in the gas station, and he'll absolutely spread the word of God like nobody you've ever seen.
Really?
I tell him every time I see him, he blows my mind because it's the coolest thing you've ever seen. I mean, that dude, it's unbelievable.
That's neat. It's very neat. Well, Cody, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate it.
What do you think total weight will be to win?
Yeah, total weight and pick 3 winners.
I don't know if I can pick 3, but I'm going to go probably 57, 58-ish. Be my guess, probably.
Nope.
Kind of what I'm thinking. But that ain't leaving nobody much room to slip. Somebody's going to have a big day. Somebody's going to have that 18, 20-pound day, and they're going to freaking crack them.
Yep.
You guys think?
We said yesterday, there's a lot of 28s. I think that's what we landed on. I said 60 to 61.
Yeah.
But I think I'm wrong.
That's fat bagging. That is
If it gets better, the next 2 days.
Shape it up. Could be.
It could be. And you don't ever know. It's fishing.
It is the perfect storm for this lake. It just depends on if it's a day off.
All right, but then who's your one pick? You got to narrow down to 1 now, not 3.
I know. I'm trying to think. I'm just going to go happy, just because. Actually, no, give me a dark horse. Give me Patrick Walters. I could see him doing some crazy stuff.
Patrick
Is it a dark horse, though?
No, not really.
He's not really. But dark horse after day 1.
Sure.
Guy from down 10, not really. Nobody's looking at him today, but he's too good to count out ever.
Man,
it's a stack.
We were talking to a guy that's been in the fishing industry a long time, and he was talking about like the elites, the former elites that are in MLF, and how the big names left. And it's like I would fish against them boys any day of the week over the new boys. Is how I feel.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a big throwdown between all of them, the 2 organizations.
Was that going to be in PFL? You know what I mean? Like, is that what it was going to be?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I felt like that was it. Like, I'm in. Like, put your money where your mouth is, and let's make this a team sport.
It'd be sick.
But we're all these young kids that are coming up are just unbelievable.
Well,
I think.
There's one angler once said to me, oh, not to me, but I know the story. But one guy once said, very smart individual, very talented angler, that the worst thing that could have ever happened at MLF if BSS went off like nothing ever happened.
Yep.
And they 125% did that. You know, the first year, all new talented field, you know, good personalities, super talented guys, young guns that are hungry, whole new shift in the thing, you know, all new blood to it, and not one mention of a competing circuit.
Yep.
Wasn't the way, I think, you know, on the other side of things, wasn't necessarily always the way. But on BSS's side, it was just, this is us, this is what we do.
It's just hard to argue with the classic. You know
It's
what I mean?
hard to argue with the classic, and then the history. Yeah, it's the oldest one.
Well, the
It's supposed
anglers
to
are
be
good,
kept-
right?
Yeah.
Like a Toyota Series guy or an Open Series guy. Like an Open's harder, not harder. An Open's just as hard to win. I think when you put local sticks in there, you're gonna.
The opens are ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
I'm still lost. So you talk
College
about a real
teams.
wise man told you that, but I don't remember telling you all that story.
It was in your sleep.
That's what.
He
Okay,
was-
now I'm back on track now. I was
Yeah.
really stumbling there for a minute.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool. I think the fresh is. I don't think anybody would have planned it or scripted it, but I think it's been a real opportunity for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the ideal way of working out, but it's good for the industry.
I think it's
a lot
really
more
good.
jobs.
Right.
You know, competition is not a bad thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
We like it. I like seeing it. It's fun to watch. I'm with you. We need to have a showdown.
I think it's
Start
awesome.
calling people out and have a showdown.
Well, March Madness, we do a different kind of bracket. Just, well, MLF BSS style.
All these guys, fish teams, 10 grand a piece. Bullshit.
We'll put it at Table Rock in October. What do you think?
Bullshits.
Bull shows in October. Bull shows in October.
Don't mention that. Put that in the fine.
there,
Yeah.
fine print at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be lots of fun.
How many tournaments have you won on Bull Shoals this year?
I don't
Do you even know?
I haven't fished very many. I've been gone.
Every weekend for a while, it was like Cody won again. Cody won again. Cody won again.
It's
Cody
just
won
an
again.
awesome layout.
I was
It's
giggling.
Got
Just-
so many fish in it.
It does. That is the.
He's just lucky.
unbelievable.
Just
He's just lucky.
The lake is the week of
You got on the
Christmas
grass
we
mat.
shut down.
Yeah,
Grass
there's
mat.
magic grass mat.
I bet I caught 80 bass. I was back home in Springfield at 4:00 in the afternoon. I mean,
I was driving down to the tailwaters to go trout fishing. And he was like, "Did you bring a wiggle wart? You need to go.
I
You
said,
need
"This
to."
is
I had
bad."
the jet boat. He's like, "You need to bring a wiggle wart. Just go find a secondary."
People don't understand. You just go do whatever you want, whatever you're good at, and you're still gonna catch fish.
No, that's what I mean. It was just unbelievable. Then me and Randy Terrell went down, owner of the Big Bass Bass, Anglers in Action, and spent 2 days. And he's 80 years old now, and we still caught. And it was, and with him, I knew we should have done something else, but we just throwing a wiggle wart and stuff, dead calm, wasn't the conditions, and we still caught fish. I didn't catch them nothing like I did with the wind and stuff, but we still caught 30, 40 bass that afternoon.
That's
Didn't
crazy.
fish hard. I mean,
That's
but
crazy.
no, it's an unbelievable
You
lake.
could take me.
So,
I'm the only person.
anyways, don't go to Bull
Cody
Shoals.
catch fish.
Stay away from Bull
Bull
Shoals.
shoal sucks. It's a trash hole.
Gar hole.
Yes.
It's a waste of time.
Yep.
Yeah, it shouldn't go.
It's in the middle of nowhere, so
Yeah.
you better bring your tent.
Yes.
That's the truth.
That is the truth.
Stay against.
Yeah.
Cool. Cody, thank you for your
Yeah,
time.
tink you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks
It's
for
fun.
having me,
Wish you the
guys.
best. Yep. Santa
Absolutely.
Cooper coming up.
Yeah.
You gonna get a blue trophy your rookie
Oh
season?
man, I'd love it.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That
Yes,
would
it would
work.
be.
I
And
like
you
it.
can do it.
That's what we're chasing.
Yes.
Blue trophies.
What's more important, classic or AOY?
I mean, you got to get to the classic. That's kind of
Yep.
that's the big shooting match, no matter what. I mean, that's the goal. But I mean, those two go hand in hand. I'd love to win one, but you got. But with these guys, the thing of it is, you can't just say, "I'm gonna go catch 12 pounds and get some."
No.
buckets." You got to shoot to win
You
every
got
time.
every
yes.
time you got to swing for the fans.
Yeah, you catch what you know.
Because I guarantee you they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Cody, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank
Yep.
you again.
absolutely. We'll do it again.